All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Ryan Hanley. He's the president of Linqura, and he's also leading a panel here dedicated at ITC 2025 for agents and brokers. So Ryan, give us a little bit of a preview of what you're going to be talking about with your panelists here.
Yeah, so the awesome event, first of all. I just want to give a big shout out to InsureTech Connect. When they came to me last year with this idea, I was a little skeptical. Big organization and never had agents in before, but I think they've done a wonderful job and we've doubled our attendance, which is fantastic. So my role today is really to be the MC. So I'm show running. I'll be bringing people on and off stage, connectivity, trying to maybe surmise some of what the speakers say. But one of the really cool things about this event is because it's tech focused, we have a lot of people who are going to be able to deliver some information, maybe about a certain piece of technology or a type of tool, and then agents can launch out on the next 2 days and actually go out into the event and find those vendors, talk to those people, have conversations about what they learned today. The other cool thing about this event that I just want to give props at ITC about is early on we had this idea of what we call a mic drop session, which is just a 15-minute segment, which makes it gives us the ability to bring in people who maybe don't normally speak or haven't spoken before. So we're going to have some voices that people have heard before. We're going to have some carrier voices, some vendor voices, but then we're also going to have some agents who have literally never taken a stage before, but are doing awesome things, sharing their story for the first time, which that to me is like the exciting part because we're getting to hear more perspectives, and I think it's going to be really fun.
That's awesome. And what just occurred to me, Ryan, I mean, the agency plant is where it starts. That's where the business starts. And they're here now, finally with some representation here, where all the carriers get to see kind of what their perspective is on the world. And so I got to talk a little bit about AI, because you mentioned technology and the opportunity for the agents to go out on the floor and see what's going on there. You know, I know you've got a huge involvement in AI. What is, if you had to say, what are the top 3 things that agents and brokers should be thinking about as far as opportunity with AI?
Yeah, I think right now a lot of the tools are focused on single tasks, but I think that's a good thing. It's early. It gives agents the ability to find some places in their business where they might be wasting time or activity or brain cycles on things that just don't add value. So think about having to rekey information, answering phones. Some of these AI receptionists are really coming around, and what that does is it frees up employees to do what agents do best, build relationships, solve problems, sell stuff, which is where we add value to the agency. So I think when agents start to think about AI, it's okay, what tasks or functions in my business don't add value but are costing my people time? And there are so many vendors here that can start to take some of those things off their table for way less money and do it in an incredibly accurate way, which I think that's the advantage to AI, is that the accuracy of the responses you're getting and the complexity of the tasks you can actually do is really starting to expand. And it allows agents to be really creative with how they build their business.
No, I love that, Ryan. You know, one of the areas that I spend a lot of time with carriers is human capital management. What does the human capital dynamic look like for a carrier as this AI shift is coming in? What's the perspective you can offer on the broker and the agent side around talent development, things like that, having to adopt these new technologies?
Yeah, so I just did a keynote at Big Eye of Ohio, OIA, last week, and the message there was, again, our people need to be spending time in these 3 buckets that I think will always do better, Solve problems, build relationships, and sell stuff. So what that means is now we can start to think of every employee truly as a revenue generator. So maybe you had someone that predominantly has done service stuff. Now we can start to train them up on, hey, here you actually have time to cross-sell now. You have time to upsell. You have time to deliver a more detailed renewal, okay? So I think it's getting people more sales focused and in some way getting them to start thinking about AI using it. So whether it's just a simple chatbot or a very basic tool, whatever, get them using these tools now, because we have no idea in the next 5 to 10 years where this technology is going to go. But the only thing I can say is the people who take on AI as a technology 3-5 years from now, they're going to be so far behind just from an understanding standpoint of what the technology can do. So even if you're uncomfortable with it or you don't necessarily know how to use it yet, just get going. Even if it's just a chat GPT or something, just get them starting to use it so they're thinking about what it can do and what its capabilities are.
I love it. You got to start somewhere. Last thing for you here, Ryan. So, you've got a lot of agents and brokers, some of whom are probably here for the first time. This is a big venue, big to do, a lot of stuff going on. What's some practical advice for the first-time agent and broker who's here overwhelmed? How do you suggest they use their time over the next 3 days?
Yeah, so I think the why I love that this day, this agent day, is on Tuesday before the actual like full-blown conference kicks off tomorrow is here. You can network with peers. Right. There are some specific vendors for agents out there, but ultimately they can figure out, okay, what's the 1 to 3 companies, whether it's maybe it's a carrier that's doing something interesting they haven't talked to before, or a vendor, et cetera. So now instead of walking out into the main room and being overwhelmed by the size and scope of it, they can go, okay, I'm here for an AI CRM, or I know there's a particular carrier who's doing some really cool stuff that I'd like to go talk to for the first time. And you can be more targeted in how you use the immense value that's here, because if you don't come in with a plan, this will completely overwhelm you. It's just so big. But with a solid plan, man, you can basically meet anyone that you want to meet, and I think really take away a lot of value. So I love that they set this up the day before, so now agents can leave. And that was the goal of the mic drop sessions, was how much can we expose them to so they can go, okay, I'm not so interested in that, but man, this thing I heard about, man, I want to go find insert tool, because that's what I really need, because I heard so-and-so speak about it on stage. So I think it's wonderful the way they set it up, and it gives the agents the ability to not get overwhelmed because they have an actual plan.
I love it, Ryan. Thank you so much.
Bro,
ladies and gentlemen,
this guy's the man right here. Listen to this podcast. I love what he's doing. He knows his shit. You're the man, bro.
I appreciate the plug, Ryan.
Yeah, all right.
And I'm here with Levi Gelineau. He's a producer specializing mostly in commercial lines. And I've got a quick question for you, Levi. I just got out of a keynote here where Ryan Hanley, who's been kind of the MC of all the agent and broker stuff, talks about the need for agents and brokers to start thinking about AI as an opportunity to offload a lot of the administrative stuff, so you guys can start focusing on more of the human element, more of the relationship management, the selling. I wanted to get a perspective from an actual agent, from a broker, on what practicality really exists in that.
Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a lot of practicality and kind of reduction. Hopefully we'll see staff reduction. I mean, I'm saying hopefully, I guess, as an owner, for all that easy stuff. I am concerned about training long-term. Like, I came up doing things that AI is going to now do for us. That's how I kind of cut my teeth. So we got to figure out, and hopefully AI can help us with training. And then I really worry on the carrier side, honestly. I mean, to be frank, I think carriers and the underwriters I correspond with there's very little correspondence or back and forth or even a discussion on a submission or an account.
Right.
And I've literally said out loud to an underwriter, like, if you don't think about this, AI is going to take your job. Like, to be clear, like, I'm the one with, I think, one of the most valuable parts of the whole relationship in the trust of the client, right? And they're paying $1 million for their insurance or whatever, and they're not gonna want to get that spit out from an AI. They're gonna want a human face on that.
Right.
And our my ass is grass if there's a problem with what I placed, and that value is going to continue a lot longer. And I am concerned for anyone in our whole industry who feels like all they do is process information through a spreadsheet, because we already know that's going away very soon.
Yeah. No, I love that. Levi, you touched on it a little bit. How are you thinking about that challenge around staffing and knowledge in terms of the folks that you're looking for your agency in the future with this whole AI? How are you thinking about that?
Yeah, it's been really fascinating. I think the industry has been hard. At least I'm from Southern California. It's been very difficult to hire good people. I mean, it's incredibly competitive. They're seeing their salaries go through the roof, which is good for them. I think we're getting complaints from our carrier partners that we're not even training enough correctly. Like, even those good people that are making 6 figures are asking stupid questions that we didn't used to ask. You know, so we do need to figure out our training, and I think that's industry wide, because they said that about me, but they were saying. We were saying this to brokers all the time. And again, that's what I recognize. This is my 16th year, and how I started versus now is a totally different world.
Yeah.
As far as development of people.
I love it. One last thing, and I'll let you go, man. How would you advise your fellow agents and brokers to leverage the next 3 days here at this conference? It's so massive. How are you thinking about getting the most out of it?
I'd love someone to tell me how to do that. I think, I'm not a person that loves going in an expo hall, but I think there's going to be a lot of products and things that we really need to see. I mean, AI is here. It's not new anymore. There's going to be a lot of buzzwords, but what's actually practical and what people are actually doing, that's what I want to find out. And I would suggest someone else to do the same.